What's going on, YouTube? Today I bring you my Detroit Lions analysis for the 2021 NFL season. They are my number 31 ranked team. There's a lot of young talent that could explode even this year, but I guess we'll be taking a look at it, and as you can tell by my 31 placement, I don't think that highly of this team. So starting off with the quarterback room, Jared Goff, was kind of the big X factor for me this season for the Lions. Obviously, they traded away Matt Stafford and get Goff, who, in my opinion, is a big downgrade from Stafford. You take the fact that this team is previously, 3 to 4 win team, and then you take away its best player, especially at the quarterback position. If Goff plays well enough, then, maybe they'll be around still that same 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 win team. But it's still a big downgrade for me. And I really don't view Jared Goff as the quarterback of the future for the Lions. I feel like they're probably going to be taking their guy of the future this class, unless Goff plays well or if they're just not in a position to. If Goff doesn't play well, obviously they will be, though. So he's kind of the big X factor. Tim Boyle is a fine enough backup. He's nothing special. And then David Blau, I believe is how you say it, Blow. He's a third string quarterback. Nothing good. It's a meh room. Jared Goff is not horrible, which is why I do have a C+ here. But still, it's not a good room. So it's not meh, but it's borderline meh, just because the backups really suck, and they don't suck, but they're just not good. And Jared Goff is he's right below mid-level for me. So then the running backs. We have DeAndre Swift here with the running back number 1, who is a pretty good guy. He's one of the breakout candidates this year. We'll have to see what he does. Jamal Williams is a pretty nice backup. He's fine enough as a backup. And then Jamar Jefferson, I really liked coming out of college. So let's see. It's actually a really nice running back room. It's got some decent depth too. So overall, I think it's much better than the quarterback room at a B. But obviously, it's still not fantastic. There's no one special here for the Lions. But it's still a fine enough room. DeAndre Swift could break out, so this could very well go up, and that would obviously help them to actually have a run game. So we'll have to see this year. But overall, I'd say it's a B. Wide receiver room, I'm going to give a C. Even though they did have even though they picked up Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's still a pretty meh room, and that's kind of being generous. Tyrell Williams had a fine year with the Raiders last year, but we'll have to see how he deals with Jared Goff throwing him the ball. Brashad Perryman, obviously not the best receiver in the world. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I really do like him. I love his speed, and I really love his upside, but I think starting out, he'll probably be the number 3. So, really no one special here. And then, the depth, Geronimo Allison is fine as a backup. Sage Surratt, another guy that I really love the upside on and stuff, but obviously he's not going to be anything special out the gate. And then Khalif Raymond, just a fine, not even really fine. He's just a backup guy. It's a C for me. It's meh. I like the upside. I love the youth on the unit, but, there's no one special. Really, there's no one even, mid-level. You take the fact that Jared Goff is already a bad enough quarterback, and now you take away weapons like Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett, and now you give him Tyrell Williams, just Brashad Perryman. Don't get me wrong, T.J. Hawkinson's good. We'll get to him in a second, but it's just such a big downgrade towards I don't expect much from them, to be honest. Tight end room, definitely a bit better than the wide receiver room. T.J. Hawkinson, another one of those breakout candidates for this year. I feel like he's yet to break out, but now with Jared Goff throwing the ball, I really don't see that as much, although he could still have a pretty good year. And then Darren Fells is one of the better backup tight ends in the NFL. Very good blocking tight end, but also a very capable receiver. So, and then Elise Mack, just a backup guy. But I do love the top 2 here with Hawkinson and Fells, one of the best duos in the NFL. Hawkinson and Fells isn't anything special, so that is why it's still going to be a B here. But, obviously Hawkinson has a ton of upside, still young, and Darren Fells is a great backup. So I give a B here for the tight end group. Sorry that I still sound sick, by the way. Left tackle room is going to be Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker is one of the better tackles in the NFL. He's been a great pick for them since 2017, I think is when they took him. 2017 or 2018. He's been a great tackle for them. He's their franchise guy, so great enough player. It's really a B minus here just because Dan Skipper and Matt Nelson are just kind of bad backups, and even then Taylor Decker's like not elite quite yet. He's good, but he's not elite. So I have a B minus, because I still do like Taylor Decker, but overall as a unit, it's not the best. But Decker is obviously a pretty good tackle, so that's nice to have for Goff. What's not nice to have is basically the rest of the line. Okay, it's not the worst line. In fact, a lot of people are actually like really love it and think it's going to be something special. I don't think it's going to be special, and obviously we'll go across it and everything. But like Jonah Jackson, for example, he was fine in his first year. He wasn't good, but like I don't see a jump from him this year. Tommy Kramer, a rookie, and Darren Paulo, someone who hasn't played yet in the NFL. Like you take a second-year player that was okay in his first year, and then two young guys that have yet to play. It's not a very good group, so that's what earns a C minus for me here. I don't want to give it a D just because I do like the upside on Jonah Jackson, but I don't expect him to hit it this year if he does. If he does hit it ever. The center room is much better. A B. Frank Ragnow, again, one of the better centers in the NFL, just earned himself a big contract extension. He's also been one of their better draft picks. I think he was 2018 and Taylor Decker was 2017. He's been great. Evan Brown is a fine enough backup, and Drake Jackson is a guy that I wasn't as high on as a lot of other people, but he's still fine enough to have as a depth piece. I do like the upside. So it's much better than the left guard room, but again, it's like Frank Ragnow, I wouldn't say he's elite, and Evan Brown is still not like a good backup per se, so it's a B for me. Left tackle and center is obviously where the strong suits are on this offensive line. Right guard is pretty bad. Tyrell Crosby, I feel like he's more of a tackle to me than a guard. Oftentimes you can move a tackle to a guard and they might work out better, but I feel like he's not going to be much better, and even then he wasn't that good at tackle. And then you add on the fact that Logan Stenberg is like who? And they don't even have number 3. It's like you have a very bad starter and a backup that personally I've never even heard of. It's a really bad room. Like Tyrell Crosby isn't bad enough to give like a D or an F, but I think people are overrating this Lions offensive line a bit much because the guard positions really stink, and like right tackle, obviously. Well, we'll get to it in a second, but right guard, it's not good. It's far from good. So, but right tackle, it's a B minus for me. Penei Sewell, I feel like Penei Sewell has the potential to be the greatest offensive tackle of all time. You add on the fact that Halapul Avaiti Vatai, best go, you're not going to get it from me again, is, a pretty good backup, actually. He's one of the better backups in the NFL. This is a nice group. It's just, again, Sewell's a rookie. I mean, he could play great his first year. We saw Tristan Wirfs and Mekhi Becton and stuff this year, but, I don't know if he's going to... I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be as good as those guys, even though he has the potential to be one of the best of all time. Just coming into his rookie year, you can't really predict how he's going to play, and... Vitae is one of the better backups, but he's still a backup. He's not going to be great for you if he starts. So overall, it's a B minus for me. I get why some people do love this offensive line so much, but for me, it's middle of the road. Left tackle and center, you have two good guys. They're not elite. Right tackle, you have a guy with a ton of potential, but he's a rookie. And then left guard and right guard, you've got two guys who aren't even really good. Sure, Jackson has upside, but overall, I think people are overrating this offensive line a bit much. There should be an R next to Penei Sewell, but it's still fine enough, but I don't think it's going to be anything special. I don't think it's going to help elevate the play of Goff. Overall, this offense is looking pretty poor. So, left end, moving on to the defense, we have Trey Flowers, who, he signed a big contract extension. I feel like that was really, really overpaying him because he really has not played anywhere close to the level you would expect from that contract. Julian Okwara is meh as a backup, and then Austin Bryant also just meh. It's a C plus for me because Trey Flowers is still not bad, but the depth is still nice. It's not bad depth, so it's overall it's nothing here is good, but nothing here is bad. I do like the upside on Okwara and Bryant, so I give it a C plus here, but it's overall meh, and I feel like Trey Flowers got really overpaid. So defensive tackle is going to be a B. Apparently, I forgot to change the pictures for the defensive tackles here. My bad. You can see Ross Blacklock and Malik Collins there. But yeah, Michael Brockers, who got traded over from the Rams, obviously that was a heck of a deal on the Lions' part. I think he'll play defensive tackle, and I think he'll be pretty good there. Levi Onwuzurike and Olympic McNeil are very good rookies to have as backups. I really love the depth, the upside, and just the potential. Also, the youth of this group. You have Michael Brockers, an experienced veteran, starting in than them. I really like this defensive tackle group for the Lions. Again, no one's special here, but there's a lot of upside and a lot of potential talent. So I have a B here for the Lions, but excuse the pictures. Right end, we have Romeo Okwara. One of the more underrated players in the NFL, really had a big breakout year last year. He was pretty great. Deshaun Hand, who he's fine enough as a backup, and then Charles Harris, who he's a backup. But Romeo Okwara, though, is a really good defensive end. We'll see if he replicates the same thing. I'm pretty sure he just came back on a franchise. I think, did they franchise tag him? I'm not sure, but either way, he's one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. Or at least one of the more underrated ones. So I give a B+ here because I love Deshaun Hand as a backup, and Okwara as your starter is pretty good. So I have a B+ here for the Lions. Defense obviously already starting out a bit better than the offense, but still needs a lot of help because you have your left outside linebacker room with Jamie Collins, who is a meh at best starter, and then Anthony Pittman. I'm just listing there right now. I don't think he's not anything. He's not good. So it's a C- for me. Bad backup and meh guy there. The Lions run a complicated defense. I think of them more as a 3-4. Which, I think they play a lot more 3-4, and Jamie Collins fits that better, but Anthony Pittman doesn't. They don't have a lot of linebackers that fit a 3-4 scheme, so it's kind of weird. Unless they're moving to 4-3, let me know down below. But yeah, Jamie Collins, though, if they are moving to 4-3, he's a horrible scheme fit, and so it's just a meh and could drop even further. So inside linebacking room is a bit better. Even though the grade doesn't show it, the depth is better, but again, there's no one special here. Jelani Tavai is fine. Alex Anzalone, I like him coming over from the Saints. Obviously, there's that connection with Dan Campbell, and then Derek Barnes is a guy that I like the potential on. He's a nice young player, so we'll have to see with him. But it's a lower grade because there's no one else here. Jamie Collins is at least a meh player. I don't think there's a single meh player here. There's decent depth, but beyond these top 3 guys, there actually really is no depth. So overall, it's a pretty bad room. It definitely could get better, so it's a D+ for me. Again, it's young. There's a lot of potential, especially with Barnes, but D+ for me. Right outside linebacking room is also going to be a D, but just a D this time because Jalen Reeves-Maybin is not a good starter, and again, if they're switching to 4-3, he's going to be pretty horrible. And then Robert McCray, I'm listing as a backup right now, not a good backup. Overall, this linebacking core is really bad for the Lions, and this is probably the worst room because you have two bad players, one of which is starting, and if you're switching schemes like they may be, then he's going to suck even worse. So D here for the Lions. Cornerback room. Quinton Dunbar, he was a one-year wonder there for Washington. We'll see if he can replicate that kind of production this year with the Lions. Kind of a failure there for the Seahawks. Jeff Okudah, obviously a guy with a ton of potential. He played fantastic at Ohio State, but I kind of say this all the time, but I feel like drafting corners in the first round is a scary game because you should not be drafting a corner and expecting them to play well for you right away. Jalen Ramsey is a freak of nature, so the Broncos, the Panthers, drafting those high corners, you shouldn't expect them to be great out of the gate. So with Jeff Okudah, that's why I didn't like taking him at 3 because I just don't feel like corners are worth that when they're going to take a few years to work out, unless you're just a freak of nature like Jalen Ramsey. So he's a fine right now. I don't expect him to take a jump this year. And then Amani Oruwari, I can't talk. I can't say his name either. As a 3, he's not the best. Obviously, this corner room really lacks in depth. There's Corn Elder, I guess, if you want to talk about him. He's a fine enough depth player, but Dunbar, we'll see what we get from him. I don't expect Okudah to break out. Oruwari is not even that good of a backup. So overall, it's a C- just because, again, you have that potential with Okudah, and Dunbar could return to his Washington form, but for right now, it's still right on the brink of bad for me, so it's a C-. Strong safety room is going to get an F. This is really bad. You have Will Harris starting, probably. You could have CJ Moore. Either way, you're going to have a really bad player starting there for you. I don't feel like either one is going to do that good. Bobby Price, who, so this is a very, very, very bad room. There's no depth here either, so like it's just bad. It's a straight up F. So really nothing else much to say about that. And then free safety. Like it's also an F to me. Like Tracy Walker is a bit better, but he's still nothing good. And Dean Marlowe, Godwin, Igwebuki, like I don't know who Igwebuki is. Marlowe is a bad backup. Tracy Walker is like maybe he'd be fine as a backup, but he's not a starter. He's also horrible. So just being that again, you have a really bad starter here and two bad depth pieces, like it's an F for me as well. The safety rooms really need a lot of work here for the Lions. But the special teams is a bit better. Randy Bullock is a fine kicker. Jack Fox, one of the better punters, and I expect Amon-Ra to probably be returning kicks. Yeah, he's a nice speedy guy, so I mean, we'll see. It's a B minus. It's okay. It's a good room. It's not one of the best, but And then taking a look at the schedule next year, a pretty tough schedule here. You start out against the 49ers. Obviously a tough game. Then you have the Packers, which is a tough game. The Ravens, which is a tough game. Division rival Bears. Division rival Vikings. Bengals, which will be tougher than it seems. Rams. Eagles might be a bit of an easier game, but then you have the Steelers, the Browns, the Bears again, the Vikings, Broncos, Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks, Packers. This is a super tough schedule. And to be honest, like I said with the Texans, I wouldn't be surprised if this team went 0-16. I don't think they'll go 0-16, but I would not be surprised. It's a very bad team with a very tough schedule. Again, I know a lot of people like the offensive line, and like personally, I love like Dan Campbell and the culture. I feel like he's the exact type of like crazy that the Lions would need. For a team like this to work out. But like Jared Goff, he's getting a big downgrade. He himself is not a good quarterback. The running back room is fine, but it's more potential than anything. The receiver room sucks. The offensive line is a bit overrated. And the defense, while the pass rush is great, like the rest of it really sucks. So you just combine all that. I wouldn't be surprised if this team goes 0-17. It's a bad team with a hard schedule. I keep saying it, but that's basically what it is. So for the Lions, I'm not expecting anything from them at all this year. But that is my 2021 analysis for the Detroit Lions. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. What record do you think the Lions is going to have? We'll find out my prediction when we do our record predictions at the end of all these deep dives. Basically deep dives. So, yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see all you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.